I am back. Every Inquisitor ranked. Alright, so I just finished Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yes, I'm late to this awesome show. I loved it because all the Inquisitors got, a lot of the Inquisitors actually got screen time, and I am extremely happy to actually see the spinny blades on live action. I have an unpopular opinion. I like the spinny blades, and I like Star Wars Rebels, I guess. The spinny blades, I will admit, they're kind of bad, but I think they could have used improvement. Oh, wait. Don't forget. So today's goals, I'm probably gonna try to... Today's goals, I'm probably gonna try to get the thing on, the highway here done, I guess, or try to get the bases done. Huh. I think the biggest weakness, I know this topic so quickly, but I think the biggest weakness of the spinning lightsabers is that they were made out of bad materials. Like they should have been made out of Beskar, because like there's 2 times where the Grand Inquisitor's lightsabers get broken. In my opinion, the best Inquisitor probably has to be the Grand Inquisitor, because he didn't rely upon the spinning function of his blade. He literally just fought. Like, he just fought without the spinning function almost completely. In fact, I love how he would, like, use it double, and then he'd spin it while he's swinging, and then hit. Okay. Get. Yeah, there's like nothing. Yeah, right. I'm watching a video.
He stood up. Instead of running away and saving themselves, countless Jedi Masters would make a stand in an attempt to buy more time for their Padawans to run away towards freedom. Despite all of their flaws and dogmatic views, many Jedi met their deaths with a stoic determination that can only be described as heroic. All their friends were of generations take money down. Order 66 was one of the darkest moments in the Jedi Order's 25,000-year history. Many Jedi were tested, most failed on their own terms. But some did far more than just fail. Some, when faced with the prospects of torture and death, capitulated to the Empire. Today we'll be taking a look at the feared Inquisitorius, an organization of Force-sensitive dark side agents who directly serve Dark City's invader. Made up of mostly former Jedi, these individuals were definitely not the best and brightest from their organization, but with the mighty resources of the Empire at their back, they represented a huge threat to all of the remaining Jedi in the galaxy, including Obi-Wan Kenobi. Today we'll be ranking all of the Inquisitors by their combat abilities from weakest to strongest.
Eighth brother.
The fifth brother was a greenish-gray skinned humanoid of an unknown species. The strongest.
Fifth brother.
The fifth brother was a greenish-gray skinned humanoid of an unknown species. much about his time in the Jedi Order. What we do know about him was he was a pretty brash and foolish individual who oftentimes acted without thinking.
Surprised to see you here.
The kill is mine.
You are short-sighted.
He also routinely fought with his fellow Inquisitors, specifically the Seventh Sister. Despite getting into fights all the time, the Fifth Brother was still a really clumsy duelist.
He was an idiot. He's my least liked Inquisitor.
Of course. This becomes apparent when he and the Seventh Sister try to take on a real badass.
If you really look at the fight where there's 3 Inquisitors fighting, like like Maul, Ahsoka, and Kanan, I'm not joking. You can literally see Fifth Brother in the background. He's going while like the 8th Brother and the 7th Sister are fighting. He's just going like he's just like stumbling like a dumbass.
Ahsoka out. The Fifth Brother is quickly knocked out by the former Jedi. The next time the Fifth Brother encountered Ahsoka would be on Malachor. He would once again be quickly disarmed after Ahsoka strikes his hilt and destroys his legs.
And kills him.
Unfortunately, this time around, the
Maul kills him.
Maul was also involved in the fight. He didn't have the same sense of mercy that Ahsoka did, and he would strike the Fifth Brother down immediately after he was disarmed. The Fifth Brother will be featured in the live-action Kenobi series because they've already seen him in the trailers, and some people survives his ordeal, so maybe live-action Fifth Brother is a little more confident, and so we can move him up the rankings a little bit.
10th Brother.
The 10th Brother is relatively unique.
He gets shot up.
He wasn't a Padawan that was caught after Order 66 and then turned to the dark side. Instead, he was the Jedi Master Crosshead Div. He was known for being especially keen in all of his senses, except for his sight. And that was because Crosshead was a Duraluka and born without eyes. From the outset, the blind Jedi believed that it was against the Order's doctrine to serve as soldiers in a war. On one mission early on in the Clone Wars district, Crosshead Div snaps when he witnesses a cave-in that destroys an entire underground city full of sentient beings. The cave-in was caused by an army of separate asteroids, but Crosshead Div unreasonably blames the Jedi for causing this tragedy to happen. He ends up assaulting Mace Windu by punching him in the face and then proceeds to challenge the Jedi Master to a duel. I would say that Crosshead did actually have a point about the Jedi's role in the war. But like the Jedi turncoat Barasoki, the second these anti-war dissenters used violence to push their agenda, not only were they being hypocrites, they also lost on moral high ground that they stood on. As the blind Jedi and Mace Windu continues the fight, we see that Crosshead Div's confusion and opposition towards the war was tainted with the dark side. Mace Windu ends up easily disarming Crosshead Divs and ends the duel without killing him. Crosshead Divs is captured and then brought back to the Jedi High Council on Coruscant, where he would be put on trial. Crosshead attempts to goad the Jedi High Council into killing him, but instead receives mercy from Mace Windu and refuses to allow him to die. In return, Crosshead refuses to accept what he perceives as the false compassion of the Jedi Order. But he has no say in the matter and is confined within the Jedi archives and forced to do librarian work until Order 66 happened. Despite being the only Jedi Master in the Inquisitorius and also one of the most experienced fighters, the 10th Brother's combat skills seem to be impaired by his lack of eyes. Even when he was a Jedi, he still seemed to struggle in combat and miss details in his surroundings. Other Jedi like Kanan Jarrus managed to use the Force to see even better after losing his eyesight, but in the case of the 10th Brother, his lack of vision would be his ultimate downfall. During the Battle of Dax City, the 10th Brother and his fellow Inquisitors managed to corner the rogue Jedi Padawan, Barrett Barr. Before they're able to kill him, though, Barr uses a mind trick that can trigger Order 66 and the Purge troopers that are accompanying the Inquisitors. The clones begin to fire on their Inquisitors, and the 10th Brother is found severely lacking. Despite the fact that he's in Jarkai form or dual-wielding, he takes multiple rounds through his body and dies. Before we continue today's video, I'd like to talk to you guys about something I'm incredibly passionate about, and that's restrictive waste minutes. Now, we've all had to deal with ridiculous workplace stress codes, societal pressure from our
6th Brother. This guy gets his arm cut off and he dies to Ahsoka.
was formerly known as Bill Ballon when he was a member of the Jedi Order. We're unsure of what race he was, but he's green-skinned and apparently smells like fish, which makes me already not like him. Like many of the other Inquisitors, the 6th Brother was directly trained by Darth Vader and suffered gruesome injuries because of his lack of skill. In the 6th Brother's case, his failure was that he gained too much on his Jedi's defensive lightsaber techniques. Dark side users were supposed to go on the attack. The sixth brother would get his left hand sliced off by Vader as a result. Later on, the sixth brother would take part in the Battle of Dax City as well. He would end up deep underwater with the tenth brother when they cornered the Padawan, Baron Vaughn. The sixth brother would survive the initial onslaught of the blaster fire from the first two, and he and the ninth sister would use the Force to create an opening for them to escape. But the sixth brother would needlessly betray the ninth brother by cutting off one of her legs. The sixth brother would meet his unfortunate demise at the hands of Ahsoka Tano, which I got a lot of Inquisitors now that I think about it. She was apparently unarmed when he approached her, and she somehow managed to set off the kyber crystals in his lightsaber while he was holding it near his face, and it kind of just exploded and killed him. So he's not that confident.
Eighth brother was pretty cool. He's one of my favorites.
Species was naturally gifted with acrobatic skills and mana. Now, the eighth brother was characterized as extremely impatient and impulsive. While tracking Maul on Malachor, he would accidentally run into King Jars as a bridger and unnecessarily know. He attempts to ambush them, but when he realizes that all three have a lightsaber, he tries to disengage from them, but is eventually chased down by Ahsoka and Kanan, and easily disarmed with the help of their Astroneer Chopper. The eighth brother would eventually get another shot for revenge, though, when the fifth brother and seventh sister arrive and free him. The eighth brother was confident enough to ambush Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger. He manages to even knock out both individuals. But when facing real warriors like Maul and Ahsoka Tano, he didn't really stand much of a chance. Out of all three Inquisitors who made it to Malachor, the eighth brother would survive the longest, which I'm not sure was a result of skill, it could just been luck. Once the eighth brother realized that he was the last one standing and his lightsaber had been damaged by King Jarrus, he would attempt to escape using his lightsaber's helicopter mode, and unfortunately would fall apart after just a few seconds, causing him to plunge to his death. He would have made it higher on this list if he had used the Force to save himself from falling to his death. The seventh sister was a female reality who oftentimes teamed up with her brother on missions. She would be sent after Ahsoka Tano, Kanan Jarrus, and Ezra Bridger. Although she was far more confident than the fifth brother and was able to defeat Ezra and Kanan early on in their training, when facing a talented duelist like Ahsoka Tano, she could barely hold her own. And during her first meeting with the Great Jedi, Ahsoka disabled the sister's lightsaber using the Force. The seventh sister was quite smart and ambitious, though. She saw the Grand Inquisitor's job.
Ahsoka Tano is such a badass.
She also liked to use IV and secret droids to serve as her eyes and also as a weapons platform, which enhanced her lethality. During the duel on Malachor, the seventh sister held her ground better than her two counterparts, but against Maul, who was a master Sith assassin at one point, she stood him. She was quickly disarmed by Maul and suspended into the air by the Force and cut down.
Ninth sister. She was kind of clumsy.
The ninth sister might look like a giant brute, but her true skills lies in her ability to sense others' emotions and feelings through the Force. Perhaps that's why she turned to the dark side in the first place. Maybe she was tired of all the Jedi around her trying to hide their true feelings, because, you know, they couldn't actually be themselves. The Jedi were so dogmatic. Whatever it was that transformed her into an Inquisitor, it definitely didn't rob the ninth sister of her humor and gusto. She really knew how to read people well and was at ease around everyone, including someone as terrifying as Darth Vader. On one mission, she was even able to read the Dark Lord and could tell that he was desperate for combat with the Jedi, partly because he hoped to end his own suffering permanently. The ninth sister was a very insightful individual and perhaps understood Vader better than he understood himself. She was so confident in her understanding of her situation that she ignored Darth Vader's call for help when he was ambushed by a bunch of bounty hunters and lost his lightsaber. Now, the ninth sister is a member of the Dawitan species, which is well known for their toughness, strength, and fighting abilities. Her lightsaber skills were adequate, like a, Jedi young Padawan, but she lacked the strength to best an opponent like Darth Vader. She would lose an eye during her sparring training with the Dark Lord. She also lacked the stupidity of peaceful and Cal Kestis, who sent her flying out of a tree in Kashyyyk. And the trees on Kashyyyk are like really tall, like miles tall. So we're not exactly sure if she survived, but you know, during the Battle of Dock City when the sixth brother cut her leg off, and she was left basically defenseless around a bunch of purge troopers, well, she survived that. So she's pretty badass.
Second
The second
sister.
sister was former Jedi Trilla Suduri, Padawan of Jedi Knight Siri Junda. Captured shortly after Order 66 while attempting to protect a group of Padawan and younglings, Trilla Suduri was both a brilliant Jedi hunter and a skilled duelist. She became one of the most talented Imperial Inquisitors and would be paired with the Ninth Sister on several missions. When facing the young Cal Kestis, she was clearly far more powerful than the Padawan, who would have been around the same age as her. Instead of defeating Cal Kestis outright, though, the second sister let him survive and allows him to track down a list of Force sensitives hidden in a Jedi holocron. The second sister, of course, was also after this list and just...
It's called, some big. Oh, yes! 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 It shall happen! Yay! Get on here, buddy. It's time to make 200 nanocarbon. Let it begin. I know my base is messy, but it's like I just cleaned it up, but who cares? Messy base is extremely busy one. Let the production of 200 nanocarbon begin. I'm sorry, I want more.
Cal Kestis to do all of the heavy lifting for her, which is a great strategic move that also showcases her patience, which was a rarity for most Darkside users. We also see the second sister in action during a skirmish on the world of Onatotho, where she calmly led a detachment of purge troopers straight into the firing line of insurgents. Using her spinning blade as a shield, she possessed the stride and confidence a Sith warrior or Jedi Knight would have on the battlefield. Cal Kestis would eventually overcome the second sister in their last meeting together. He had learned much about the Force and recalled his old Jedi training after keeping away from the Force for several years. He also had received tutelage from Trilla's old master, Siri Junda. After her defeat, Trilla was given a chance to forgive her old master for her failures to protect her, but she's cut down by Vader before she's even able to say a word.
Unknown Inquisitors. The Twi'lek and the red... The Twi'lek dude and that red lady that fell in love, but that then got killed by Vader because he's a jerk.
Like the fourth sister, we've never actually seen her in action before, but she's going to be featured in the new Kenobi series along with the third sister known as Reva. I imagine if these two Inquisitors are going to give Obi-Wan Kenobi trouble, they're probably going to be pretty high ranked on this list. I guess we'll just have to wait and see tomorrow. Lastly, we also have two unidentified Inquisitors known only as the Red-Skinned Inquisitor and the Twi'lek Inquisitor. They had accompanied Vader on his mission to destroy the former Jedi Master known as Koth. While Darth Vader engaged Koth, the two unidentified Inquisitors were sent after his wife and Force-sensitive child. But while back at the base, Vader senses something is off with the two Inquisitors. He walks over to them while they're enjoying a drink and pulls his blade and tries to cut the Red-Skinned Inquisitor down. The Twi'lek Inquisitor pulls out his own blade and defends her. Vader, of course, finds this romantic attachment unacceptable, and the Inquisitors know this as well and flee the base. They attempt to take the fight to Vader and eliminate him before he can hunt them down, their attempt is futile and they both die from each other's blades. Always knew that Vader was romantic.
Grand Inquisitor. Yep, the best.
Lastly, we have the Grand Inquisitor, the fly-on leader of the Inquisitors and former Jedi Temple Guard. Temple Guards were Jedi Knights who adopted an anonymous identity in order to serve as protectors of the Order. They were trained to not only prevent enemies from attacking the Temple, they were also tasked with bringing rogue Jedi to justice and guarding those who had turned to the dark side. The Grand Inquisitor would train and guide the other Inquisitors in his group, but he would also have to maintain his superiority over them to prove that he deserved his position. All of the other Inquisitors were clearly gunning for his job. The Grand Inquisitor was one of the few individuals who Vader could trust with more sensitive missions. Assigned to the Lothal sector to hunt down the Lothal rebel cell, the Grand Inquisitor was far more powerful than Kanan Jarrus and Ezra Bridger in their first few confrontations. During the final battle with Kanan Jarrus, the Grand Inquisitor was able to manhandle both Kanan and his apprentice Ezra Bridger. He absolutely manages to launch Ezra off a very high platform. Kanan Jarrus, thinking that Ezra has died, is relieved because now he goes into dual-wielding mode and manages to fight on the same level as the Inquisitor. But then while delivering a bunch of one-liners about the Force, Kanan Jarrus just sticks his lightsaber into the hole inside of the Grand Inquisitor's lightsaber and breaks it in half. It's a real questionable move. I don't know why the Grand Inquisitor would just stand there and allow this to happen. But he's lost the battle and he chooses death instead of disappointing Darth Vader because even
Darth Vader would kill him.
Ultimately replaceable. So there you have it, guys. That is our ranking of all of the Inquisitors from weakest to strongest. Now, I'm sure this list will change a little bit with the release of the series. But let me know in the comment section below what you think about this list and how you rank them from highest to lowest or lowest to highest. Also, guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button down below so you don't miss out on the rest of our coverage of the Kenobi series.
Whoever's watching, let's just say I have a little bit of an idea. Mm-mm. 200 nanocarbon. That will be 6 times the amount of nanocarbon I've ever had possessed before. Wait, this is graphite. Why is this here? Hi, buddy. No, stop. Nope. Oh. Of doing what? I'm sorry, my comments cut out after that. Like they just do this weird thing where they cut out. So I build a dodeca unit RTG reactor. Dodeca meaning 12, and well, of course, if you know what I mean by 12, built the first dodeca reactor. You know what I think we should do? I think we should divvy. We should divvy this, and I'm going... My base is messy once again. Large platform C. Probably the best platform to ever exist. Okay, we got this, check. This, check. No. I have. So we have this. We have a tough carbon back here. We have a bunch of a little bit of titanium back here. No, don't. You jerk. I hate when that happens. Nay. Make these. These are a superpower right here. Alright, let's do some math, buddy. What's it called? A wind turbine produces 1.5 units of energy. When you put this times 24, this is 36. Now, you can get some janky numbers when you multiply this by 12. And if you have little tiny wind turbines on a platform like this right here, and then you put those platforms on this, you will get a power output of 432 units of power per second. This machine right here puts out 48. 48. There's the math. This gracious one, you can't even see it. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of power. And what's it called? It gets even more janky. Way janky and screwed up when you actually start to know that. Right now, I'm about to convince you why medium batteries may not be the best alternative. No, but they have 32 power units on a small one and 500 on a large one. How can they be so much worse? Oh, I got some news for you, my guy. Alright. The medium battery should hold 32 units of electricity, am I right? Yeah, so one little unit. So first of all, we should go to the medium battery. And the medium battery, according to this game, holds about 512 units of energy times 12, and we get a power. We get answer of 6,100. 6,144 power units that are able to be stored. However, where this gets really janky, like really hella janky, is when you take 32 times 4, or times 24. And this is 768. Now you times this by 12, and you have a storage unit capacity of 9,216. This is 66 times. This is 66.66 times more powerful than what I just showed you before. Now, 24 times 12 is 288. With what's it called? If you put medium batteries on it, you're gonna get a power output of 60, and with the small batteries attached to the medium silos, you're gonna get a power output of 688. Which, if you have any, oh crap, if you have any sense of intelligence on how numbers work, you should know that 288 is way more powerful than then no, no, don't. Oh, are you fine, dude? I feel you. You know, I had COVID like twice. Don't apologize. Like, you guys don't need to apologize for not being my stream. Cause you know what? I'm gonna admit it. You have better things you could be doing. You could go out, see your family, all that stuff. It's okay. I don't really mind. Y'alls are fine. God, I feel so spoiled having this right. Oh crap. Oh no. I made a big oopsie. You see, I need titanium if I want to make more of those tanks, and I have no. Oh, there goes the last titanium. Oh, there it goes. Oh wow, we've almost filled up this entire little thing. This makes the medium storage silos probably one of the most overpowered storage platforms in the game. This thing breaks them. Oh, and RTGs. If you have them filled with QT RTGs, this generates 24 power units instead of a QTG's 4. I'm doing really good. I hit my arm when I was doing VR. I had a grenade in VR, and I was going yeet, and I hit my tape, my arm. It felt like I broke it, but I touched it again, and it's not hurting. So I guess I got a knot, which means that I hit it hard. I don't know. Anyway, as I was saying, this is a large wind turbine. This will produce 10 units of electricity. However, if you take one of those medium platforms, like one right there, and you put baby wind turbines on it, it does better than this. It actually generates 24 units of electricity, and this generates 17! So, what's it gonna cost you? 2 titanium and 24 glass, which 24 glass is a little bit expensive, but it's not as expensive as iron, graphene, and aluminum alloy. Yeah. Oh, you all play, yeah, it hurt like a mofo. And the force I throw grenades at is stupid, too. Okay, so I have generated a lot of quartz. And hands down, I know it's weird, I needed a lot of quartz. Like, a stupid ton of quartz. Because I want to make glass, not only for tanks, but I want to make them... But I really want to make wind turbines. I have become addicted to the wind turbine. Come on. You feel the flakes? Oh no. Look how much. I have 89 nanocarbon. I've already surpassed 3 times the amount of nanocarbon, and I'm only going to get more. Where's that empty tank? Alright, here's what's gonna happen. I'm going to go take this. I have to go fill this thing back up. I need titanium for large tanks. I'm running out of large tanks. Stop fighting! Stop fighting! Got you. Alright, there we go, we're cool. I have Call of Duty 2019. I'm not an old classic player. I play new, like... I play like the old, like, not the old, but the new types of COD. Oh wait, look, there's a... Oh crap, I forgot how many medium storage silos we have. We have 10. Oh yeah, right. I need Has anybody ever heard of ammonium nitrate? Ammonium nitrate is an explosive compound. I literally observed the chemical makeup of nitrate. It's weird. Oh crap. I made an oopsie. Now I'm gonna have to go take the fly of shame because I just forgot something. Homework? What you doing homework on, my friend? Nice. It's okay, don't be afraid to leave. Oh, there's my hydrazine. Oh crap, I left. Ay. God, I remember doing trig. Trig's annoying, and I'm probably gonna have to do trig again because if I want to become a computer programmer, I know a stupid ton of things in that you know. Uh. Mm, thought what? That is a stupid ton of nanocarbon. I have enough, and remember, guys, I have lithium on another planet being extracted as I speak. Alright, we're gonna need to go get titanite. Here's why. Titanite is gonna give us titanium. Titanium will give us enough materials to build tanks. If you don't know, I am extremely dependent right now on tanks. So I think I have a goal. I need to make 6. I need to make enough. It's okay. You know what I think I need to do? I need to start developing main bases on each planet. Shut it down. There it goes, it's gone. Alright, so here's what happened. A few days ago, I was realizing that I'm like, oh wow, I'm getting a lot of titanite. Well, actually, if you look really close to the titanite... Oh wait, hold on, it's actually working. Come on, buddy. So, you know how cold it has to be able to freeze argon? My god, you're moving slower than lung cancer! Get over here! Please! Stop it! Get over here, man. You're moving slower than the processing speed of a Windows 95. Now, no, get over. Thank you. Dude, this battery sucks, just like our president. Alright, so I've actually thought about something. So, I'm gonna designate planets. So right now, Saiva is going to be... Actually, I'm almost thinking about turning... So here's my first plan. Saiva is gonna be my home base. It's gonna be where all my main applications are. My opinion, one planet you should definitely think about taking over is this one. You can actually get argon from this planet, and you can get both titanite and hematite. Even though it says that hematite is found in caves, you can go deeper into the planet to find it, or you can just go into these flat areas. You can also use it for mining for these, and you can mine the soil and turn it into organic and make a steel factory and a titanium factory. And you could ship the titanium to somewhere like Saiva, and you could further process it into graphene. Remember, on any planet with hydrogen on it, you can effectively make... No, Saiva is probably the best to convert titanium into titanium alloy. Alright, if you were going to make a Mega Rover, I don't know, if you want to put on Atrox, you would have to turn it into something just like my Boar Master. I do not recommend going that much on Atrox without something like I'm saying. You know, in my opinion, Calidor is kind of like, if I want to say, Calidor might be my least visited planet. The reason I don't really visit Calidor is it's got, you know, Wolframite, which is, and Malachite, which is great and all, but here's the problem. I don't really need, like, for example, here's the thing, three metals I really need, in my opinion, or the two metals I really need are, actually, the three metals are aluminum, aluminum, iron, and titanium. Those are my three core metals. They're like the triumvirate of the game. Wolframite is really used for searchlights or floodlights for my industrial area, and I usually go to my neighbor planet or moon, known as Solo, to go get that. It's really great if you really like Mars. It's pretty fine there. Here's what I'm gonna deploy a Dodeca RTG to at least every planet. This will produce 48 units of power without maintenance. I'll be right back. I need to go to the bathroom. I'm back. Caldor is just kind of this iffy planet. I don't really... Oh wait, hold on. Hey guys. I think... So Atrox, I'm thinking I'm gonna turn it into a junk planet slash mining planet. So anything I cannot scrap, I will box it up and bring it to Atrox and dump it in those pits with like lights pointing down on them, like a cool junkyard. With a friend. Oh man. Feelings mutual, my guy. Feeling is mutual. Okay, can they seriously please add like large fluid containers and large soil containers? Because I hate having to craft up so many of these medium things. It's so annoying. I hate these invisible barriers I always find. Oh crap, not again. See, look, it gets stuck on the stupidest shit. I'm so mad when this happens, man. This makes me utmost infuriated. I have to go get a Packer. It's probably gonna fall to the freaking earth. Last time this happened to me, it literally fell through the planet. I hate when you're literally bulldozing and you come across those stupid invisible barriers. Oh my god. Hi. Hi. Oh, oops. Same, a little bit here, but hey, I guess it happens to all of us, right? I don't know if I have enough soil to get this platform made. But I might as well do it. The only reason anybody ever comes to this planet is just to make explosives left and right. Ten fastest dying cities in the United States.
For supper, there's nothing like grilling steaks over an open flame. Enjoy your steak. I already am. Are you going to finish yours? Lagavulin, the father of all whiskeys.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to World War II Briggs and a look at cities that have people flooding out of them. The natural order of things says that cities, states, towns,
Chicago.
and countries should grow their population every single census, so like every 10 years. If they're near zero growth, there's some problems in that location. If they actually lose population, they got some big problems going on there. Most of the time it has to do with employment, economy, some kind of money situation. You also get people leaving because of crime, and occasionally you'll see a mass exodus after a major natural disaster like a hurricane or a, I don't know, Nickelback concert. Out of almost 300 largest cities in the U.S., only 28 lost population in that 10-year span, 2010 to 2020. These are the 10 cities who lost the highest percentage of their population. Stay till the end and I'll tell you about some that you probably thought were going to be on the list, but weren't. Alright, let's take a look. Number 10, Mobile, Alabama. Mobile's one of those cities that every other census they lose population. This has been going on since the 1960s, where they gained about 57%, which is solid.
Have you calmed down on that?
They lost 6%, 80s gained 5%, 90s lost 2%, 2000 they gained 1%, and then the last two census they've actually lost 1.9 in the 2010 census, and now in 2020 they lost 4.1. So why are people leaving Mobile? Well, crime, opportunity, and poverty are pretty much their biggest problem. They either don't have enough jobs, their unemployment is usually a little above the national average. When it comes to the jobs they do have, not a lot of them are really good paying jobs. This forces people to seek better opportunities elsewhere. They
Could
also
you not do that as
have a
much?
high crime rate. Their crime rate is actually 125% higher than the national average. Their violent crime rate is 73% higher. That'll chase people out. Mobile is a beautiful city. I've been there several times. I really like it. Love the people there. Great food. Beautiful old city. It's just they can't keep people in there.
As what is what you would see down in the south, I guess. Ooh,
They have a lot of cruise ships
a lot of
that
seeds.
leave Mobile Bay. Didn't have any of that during the pandemic. But that's getting back to normal next year, so they'll be doing a little better there. Have more jobs and some extra income coming into the city.
Oh no, not you again.
Mobile's lost 4.1% of their population, going from about 195,000
Oh wait, look,
to
they're friendly.
187,000. Number 9, Rockford, Illinois.
Rockford.
Northwest of downtown.
Hey look, another awful place in my state.
Chicago really picked up steam in the last couple of years, but Rockford has been losing people throughout the last decade or so.
Rockford kind of is a little bit sus. I have to take it when I ever go to Wisconsin Dells.
Violent crime rate, it's actually 209% higher than the national average.
That's great to know.
Crime is 81% higher. That's horrible, but it sounds kind of nice when you put it up against 209% higher than the national average in violent crime. The other thing chasing people from Rockford into the prairie is the unemployment. Their unemployment numbers are horrible, 81% higher than the national average, and their household income is actually 25% lower than the national average. The national average for household incomes here in the United States is $55,322 a year. For a couple in Rockford, it's $40,143. That's it. From 2010 to 2020, Rockford lost 4.8% of their population, taking them from 152,000 to 145,000. Number 8, St. Louis, Missouri. You know, we haven't talked about St.
Especially East St. Louis. East St. Louis is bad.
on this channel.
If I were you, if you're the person listening to me on this channel, if you're gonna go anywhere near St. Louis, don't go to Eastern St. Louis. Do not. It is incredibly sus. When I say I mean like hella sus. Like I am like almost scared that I'd get shot there sus. Eastern St. Louis is awful. I've been there so many times, and well, let's just say it's a good thing we never stop, because I will place a good bet that, well, metaphorically a good bet that if you do not stop there, and they see you walking on the street alone at night, you are probably going to get kept and shot, robbed, and also other things. Yeah, like, all the area around it is just abandoned. It's just rotten down, run down. Just looks awful. I would never want to live in Eastern St. Louis.
Touched on all their bad neighborhoods and
It's like Chicago, but probably worse.
everything about St. Louis you've talked about. One thing we've never really talked about is how people are flooding out of that place. It's no wonder they are. I mean, you got St. Louis, which is one of like the murder capitals of the United States. Then you got right across the river in Illinois, you got East St. Louis, which is worse. They're just smaller. St. Louis is getting killed in every single stat, no pun intended. I mean, their crime rate's high, everything's high. The violent crime rate in St. Louis, Missouri is 408% higher than the national average. Their total crime rate is 226% higher. This is chasing people out, as you can imagine. Their unemployment rate is 47% higher than the national average. Now, this is about typical for them. Currently, October 2021, the national unemployment rate is 4.6%. St. Louis, it's 7%. Area Vibes gives their schools an F. All those stats kind of paint a pretty bleak picture of St. Louis, and that's why people are leaving.
The only thing that I like in St. Louis is the City Museum. That's it.
5.5% of their population, taking them 301,000.
If you've not been to the St. Louis City Museum, it is actually a pretty good area to go.
Number 7, Toledo, Ohio. Toledo is one of those cities that no one ever asks me to cover. I get requests to do cities every single day, whether it's through comments or emails. Just all
The worst city in my area is Peoria.
file their city.
I live like 30 minutes away from Peoria. One rule about Peoria: do not move there unless you are trained in firearm safety, or you're like, don't move there unless you're ready to get shot, because I'm not joking. Every single week there is an arson, a shooting, a rape, a stabbing, or a murder in Peoria. I am not joking. Like, somebody dies every week in that city. It's sad. It's crazy. Like, there's so much crime in that city. It is awful. And it used to be one of the most best places in the world. I'm not joking. There's actually a saying that goes, will it play in Peoria? Because if you had a play or an opera back in the day, if it was good, it would play in Peoria. And now it's no longer got that reputation anymore. It's just this awful place. Also, by the way, because of their lake, where I live, it is really easy to see storms strengthen in severity. Because storms strengthen, I think, during, like, with the most moisture, storms will, like, there will be tornadoes around my area, especially. I've had a tornado go 6 miles just south of my house, man.
One time he said, what do we got, the mud hens? When it comes to the crime rate, which is chasing people out of Toledo, it's still not as bad as some of the other ones on this list. To give you an example, their violent crime rate is only 151% higher, where their total crime rate is only 77% higher. As far as cities that suck, that's not terrible, but it's enough to chase
Today, yeah, today its reputation is complete, like, just, it's gone.
They're leaving for jobs, for sure. Like I said before, the unemployment rate is 4.6 right now, and the unemployment
In my opinion, if you want to live near Peoria, but you don't want to live in Peoria, just go to Bloomington.
chase them out there. They don't have good stats on anything but cost of living, right? If no one wants to live there, it's gonna be cheap, right? Like a short sleeve tuxedo. One of those, I'm sure it's like 85% off. From 2010 to 2020, Toledo lost 5.7% of their population, taking them from 286.
No, like, it went past my house in June. Like, heck no. I want to say there's no possibility of it happening, but again, literally in December of 2021, we saw the outbreak that would literally spawn tornadoes in December. We've had 2 outbreaks in December. I remember literally going live on the news when we heard that that Amazon warehouse was completely obliterated. The entire... Yeah. I live out in the country. Even if I literally tell people I live near Carlock, you would never be able to find me. What's it called? I think it's called December 2018. No, December 2021 or no, December 18th, 2021 outbreak. This outbreak is infamous for causing the world's very first quad state tornado, which, if you don't know how important that is, it is extremely important. A tornado has never crossed 4 states until 2021. I never knew I'd be able to live and witness an actual history. It's called the Mayfield tornado. And I have to say, screw the Mayfield candle factory operators. There were literally reports of the managers blocking the doors and threatening people with their jobs to go home. This is complete utter BS. If I were at work and there's a tornado coming to me and I have an opportunity to go home, homie, screw this freaking $2 an hour job. I'm going home. There is a violent rotating column of air that is going to wipe out this entire place, and I'm not gonna be one of the victims. I hope the people that filed lawsuits against that place won. They deserve the win. Scummy managers, man. Complete trash company. I hope they fail. And I hope those workers find a better job and a better lifestyle. Like 58 people in that factory died. There could have been way less if the managers did not block those doors. When I'm saying block, they stood in front and prevented them from leaving the doors. And you know, you could have made an like observation that actually never mind. What happens is that the workers wanted to leave an hour or so in advance because they knew it was going to happen. They wanted to go home in case something would happen, but the managers would not let them. They were aggressive and barred them into the doors. They barred them into the doors, which means that they put like a deadbolt or so, or other things. They block the doors. Yeah. I mean, 4 states. The last time a tornado is ever, like, tri-state tornado, the most famous one, also the deadliest tornado, occurred in 1925 on March 18th. Which is actually kind of spooky because March 18th, compare that to December 18th. Ooh, that actually gives me a shiver down my spine. I didn't even realize that. The same numerical date. But there's even a town in America that got hit on the same date, like March, I think it was like March 18th, 1916, 1917, and 1918. Not joking. The town is, I think it's called like Twister Town or something. I don't know. But they're famous for getting hit by twisters 3 times in a row on the same numerical date. It's crazy. Like, there has to be something against you. Like, spiritually, there has to be something against you for that to happen. Yeah, keep going.
1,000 to 270,000. Number 6, Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, Cleveland.
Ohio, we got the beautiful
At least we're not Detroit.
steak on the lake.
We're not Detroit.
Actually, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, and there's this guy that's a YouTuber. He's great. Cleveland is doing okay football-wise right now, but they've sucked since forever. One guy used to do these rants in front of it and called their stadium a factory of sadness, which is great. Very accurate for back in the day with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, Cleveland? Wait, why what? I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't hear what you were trying to ask me. You know what? I'm gonna introduce you probably one of the funniest things ever. I'm gonna hastily make Cleveland tourist video. I'm gonna introduce you why Cleveland. I'm gonna introduce you to what should be Cleveland's official anthem at this point. If you don't know, Cleveland's river is so polluted it caught on fire 13 separate times. Here it goes.
Catches on fire. It's so polluted that all our fish have AIDS. See the sun almost 3 times a year. This guy has at least 2 DUIs. Blacks look like a Scooby-Doo ghost town. Don't slow down in East Cleveland or you'll die. Our economy's based on LeBron James. Buy a house for the price of a VCR. Our main export is crippling depression. We're so retarded that we think this is ours. We could be first, though at least we're not Detroit. We're not Detroit.
Yeah, I've heard Cleveland has actually improved a little bit.
Anyway, Cleveland, like so many other cities here in the Rust Belt, they got destroyed back in the 1980s when, actually they got destroyed before then. The 70s were rough on them when they started losing different auto industry jobs there. But around 83, 85, that's when the city really started to tank. Cleveland Cleveland's another one where their crime is chasing people out of the city. Their violent crime rate's 300% higher than the national average, and their total crime is 140% higher than the national average. And their unemployment numbers right now are borderline on criminal. They're actually double the national average. More
That
than double.
sucks.
They're 10.1%. That's their unemployment rate. 4.6.
So 1 out of every 10 people are unemployed in Cleveland. That should not even be legal.
They got a C. Cause for celebration in Cleveland. From 2010 to 2020, they lost 6.1% of their population, taking them from 396,000 to 372,000. Number 2. Detroit, Michigan.
Of course.
Our old friend Detroit. They've been losing people since forever.
Detroit,
Not in a good
because
way.
if you want to speedrun your way getting shot, move to Detroit.
Census, meaning they actually gained people, was the 1950 census where they gained almost 14% of their population. Since then, they've lost 9.7, 9.3, 20.5. In 1990, it was 14.6 they lost. 2000, 7.5. The last one was 25% of their population left. And this time, they lost 10.5% of their population, taking them from 713,000 to 639,000. Now, I could go on why they're leaving and everything like that, but in the numbers, their crime is horrendous and their jobs are horrible too. And this is what really sucks about them. Their violent crime rate is 418% higher than the national average.
Wow.
That's an improvement year over year, 4 years in a row. Their total crime rate used to be 250% higher than the national average. Right now it's only 152% higher. All that being said, downtown Detroit has really turned a corner. That's a nice looking city right now, and that's kind of starting to expand. I think in maybe our lifetime, Detroit will return to its old glory. I don't know. They got a long road to go, but they are showing improvement. Number 4, Baltimore, Maryland. Baltimore, Maryland has legendary crime problems. Poverty numbers so alarming you probably need therapy if you studied them. On a positive note, they have started, their tech community is starting to grow, and some companies have been moving in there or have plans to move in there. So that is some good news for Baltimore. Baltimore's a beautiful city with a lot of history. It's just too bad that it's been out of control for a very long time. So why are people leaving Baltimore? Crime and jobs, that's all there is to it. Their jobs aren't terrible compared to some of the other ones on this list. Their violent crime rate is 390% higher than the national average. Total crime rate's only 148% higher. When it comes to their employment numbers, 7% higher than the national average. But their household income is actually 20% lower than the national average. So they don't have a lot of really good numbers here. They have no good numbers. The only thing that they have an A+ in is amenities. They have a lot of things to do, places to eat. It's just you might get killed while you're out trying to get a burger or something. From 2010 to 2020, Baltimore lost 6.7% of their population, taking them from 620,000 to 585,000. Now keep in mind, we are only going by the actual city. Baltimore's metro area, like so many other ones on this list, is huge. The entire metro area has 2,844,000. So it's a big metro area. The city only has about 585 right now. But the metro area, when you take all their stats, is normally about the same percentage lost as the city itself. Number 3, Shreveport, Louisiana. This one is
Louisiana, I'm never moving to Louisiana. It's like the 10th one in the top 10 worst states. It's also probably gonna flood here in a few years, so yeah.
Their unemployment numbers are a surprising 7% lower than the national average. They're only 4.3% right now. The problem is, the jobs they have suck. They're not good paying jobs. They have no good paying jobs in this place. I shouldn't say no good paying jobs. I'm sure
From your phone for movement sheet. What?
Mississippi, where the national average for median household income is 55,000, they're 34,000. They got a poverty rate
Sheesh.
that's about 26% above the national average. Lack of opportunity.
It's good to be learning about cities because I'm probably gonna tack on hundreds of thousands of miles into my car.
Negative about a city or something like that. Like Toledo, nobody ever brings up Toledo. Nobody ever defends Shreveport. No matter what I say about that place, if it's negative, everyone agrees with me. It's really strange. Watch, now I'm gonna get an email from like a city council person or something like that, defending the place. They always invite me down there to see what they're doing. I don't know why. Why would you want me to come there and just talk total trash about your city? Shreveport hasn't had many census where they lost population. I mean,
Hey, look,
this
crippling
was
depression.
the 2010 census and the 1990 census. That's it. Every other census, they've gotten double-digit growth at least, and in 1870 they got 110% growth. From 2010 to 2020, Shreveport lost either 5.9% of their population or 6.9 on the census.
6.9.
Two numbers, and there's got an asterisk there, and I think there was a correction. I'm not totally sure because they didn't give details. Strange, but either way, 6.9, 5.9, somewhere in there. I emailed the census. I guess I'll find out. I don't know if they haven't got back to me. But regardless, Shreveport had 199,000, and they dropped down to 187,000. Number 2, Jackson, Mississippi.
I've heard a lot
Yeah,
of
there are a
awful
bunch
things
of
about
big
Jackson.
cities in Mississippi. They never show up on a good list. If I ever make a list about capital cities where you can get shot, bit by a mosquito, and sweat through your t-shirt all in one day, I bet they'll be number 1. But today, they're number 2 when it comes to people flocking out of this place. The only thing that isn't...
I can imagine it was home to much bigotry back during the civil rights movement.
And it's relatively cheap compared to other cities. If you have a job, you might be able to do some of those things, but not many people there have jobs. Their unemployment rate is actually 69% higher than the national average.
Of course it's
8%
69%.
right now. Their household income is 41% lower than the national average. Their crime isn't terrible. Total crime's 113% higher, and their violent crime is only 98% higher, which is incredibly good because 2 years ago, it was 170% higher than the national average. Barry Vibes gives their schools an F, and their housing market gets an F too. From 2010 to 2020, Jackson, Mississippi lost 11.4% of their population.
Sheesh.
From 173,000 to 153,000.
Chicago.
We have another channel called On This Day. We'd like it if you went over there and subscribed. All that good stuff, there's a link down below. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, go ahead. After number 1, I'm going to explain why some of the cities you probably thought were going to be on here aren't. Alright, on to number 1. And number 1, Flint, Michigan.
Oh, yep.
Is in bad shape. Has been
Yeah. Do we even have to explain why this city's bad?
Country, or you watch this channel for long enough, you know Flint hasn't been doing good for a very long time. They could be like the poster child for what happens to a city when an industry leaves. And that was the auto industry here. Prior to 1970, Flint only had one census where they lost population, and that was the 1940 census when they lost 3.2% of the population. Then 1970 hit when the jobs started going away, and it's been downhill since then. 1.8, 17.4 they lost in 1980, 11 in 1990, 11% again in 2000, 18% in 2010, and then this last one, they lost 20.7% of their population.
Wow.
Taking them from 102,000 to 80.
Plus their their water contamination crisis probably sealed the nail in their coffin.
They started off in 2010 with 102, and now they're not making the list, but we put them on anyway because they had such a drastic drop. They're leaving for all the basic reasons. Horrible job situation. Their unemployment rate right now is 12.1% higher than the national average. It's like 160% higher. Their household income is 54% lower than the national average. And when it comes to crime, this is kind of funny. So their total crime is only 38% higher than the national average, but their violent crime rate is 255% higher than the national average. Their property crime is actually lower than the national average. You know why? Nobody has anything worth stealing in this city. That's just weird. That's the only one I've ever seen where one of the crime stats is actually lower than the other two, if it's, that drastic. On top of all that good news, you can still get poisoned by the water in Flint, Michigan. I think that's one of the first things they're going to fix on this new infrastructure thing, you go, let me explain why a couple cities that you probably thought would be on the list aren't. This video took into consideration the whole census, the whole 10 years. Places like Los Angeles and San Francisco, I guarantee everyone who watches the news thought that they'd be on here for sure. Well, if we did it on the last 2 years, they would be. Los Angeles in the last 2 years lost 0.32%, which for Los Angeles, that's bad. They've gained people since forever. Chicago, in the last 2 years, lost 0.51%. And San Francisco lost 1.39%. Now, that's just the last 2 years. But prior to those 2 years, they gained so much population, they still came out ahead. Now, if the trend that they have going on right now continues, yeah, they'll all be on the list in 10 years from now. Along with New York, they're in the same situation. They lost people the last 2 years. Prior to that, they've been gaining people. All right, that's today's list. Hope you
10 cities going downhill. Yay, more cities that are going downhill. Chicago. By the way, be careful if you ever go near Chicago too. Chicago is pretty much the epitome of a dumpster fire. The mayor of Chicago apparently doesn't even live in her own town because she's scared of getting shot. Feel bad for her. I like how they're advertising me Christmas stuff, and it has not even been Halloween. I'm gonna move towards Wisconsin Dells. I'll probably make every Wisconsin dweller mad here when I say I've said Misconsin so many times when I was little. Mom, are we going to Misconsin Dells?
Some, in my opinion, have set themselves up for success post-COVID. Others, not so much. Some of these cities are dealing with old problems that have gotten worse while picking up some new ones. And those are the cities we're looking at, the ones that will be getting worse in 2023. Now, I'm sure some of you are going to say, what about this city? What about this city? Like San Francisco or Chicago? I think in a lot of cases, some of those have already hit rock bottom and they can really only go up. This isn't the worst city list. This is cities I think will be getting worse. Keep that in mind. But this video is my opinion based on information that I've been taking in over the last year. Are these cities 100% horrible? No. Will they struggle in the next year and probably beyond? I think so. If you think I listed a city that shouldn't be on this list, I'd love to hear about it in the comments section below. These are just my opinion, and why? Unless you're just a troll, I'm sure you have some valid opinions. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Houston, Texas. Of all the major cities in Texas, Houston's the one that's like nobody wants to move to. You know, people are moving there, so don't quote me on it, but it's just not as popular as the other ones, and for good reason. Houston kind of blows. Over the last 6 years, Houston's crime rate has continued to grow. Their schools
Really?
have the best marks, and their poverty level in Houston is 45% higher than the national average. I don't think their exact like unemployment rate, but it changes so often. It's just safe to say that it's between 82% higher than the national average those months. There's a lot of people that see Houston don't get wrong. It's just these things in crime rate and some of their other stats are just keeping people away and driving people out. And it's too bad. Texas has a lot of places that are doing good and better. California, San Antonio area, Austin, one of the most popular places to move to right now. El Paso's pretty good. I moved to Amarillo before I moved to Houston. Not because I'm a dirt cheap. They rank 150 largest cities in the United States on different categories, and one stuck out to me about Houston was their quality of city services. Of 150 cities, they're ranked 126th. Number 9, Philadelphia. There's a lot of
Philadelphia.
problems when it comes to Philadelphia. It's just got a lot more cons these days. Speaking of cons, their crime rate's growing too. I mean, it's a major city, and you can't expect it to have perfect crime or below average crime. That's just how big cities are. But their violent crime rate has been growing the last few years. It's actually right now 134% higher than the national average. Is that the worst in the United States? No. Is it pretty scary? Yes. If you want to see something that is alarming, YouTube or Google Kensington. It's a neighborhood in Philadelphia that is just filled with homeless and drug addicts. It is so bad, there are third world slums that look better than Kensington. Remember that service stat I just talked about for Houston? They're actually worse than Houston. They're ranked 129th in the nation. Now, there are some wonderful areas of Philadelphia. Don't get me wrong. I mean, every city has these. I mean, except for the one that's right across the river from Philadelphia, New Jersey. Yeah, that place is bad all the way around. And I think that helps bring down some of Philadelphia's stats. Number 8, Jacksonville, Florida. Jacksonville's one of those places you never really hear about unless you're an NFL fan or you live in Florida. I haven't visited Jacksonville probably about 5 or 6 years, but I've been there like 3 or 4 times. I've been very underwhelmed each time. The only thing I really did like about Jacksonville was the downtown area by the St. Johns River, the whole waterfront area. That's pretty nice. If you get into some of the neighborhoods, it's not worth your time. Jacksonville's crime rate has been climbing at a pretty good pace. In some of the suburbs and neighborhoods, it's been climbing pretty bad. Now, what really gets them on this list besides the crime is their employment. Their employment numbers haven't looked good, and they don't have a lot of really good paid jobs on average. Their income per capita is about 20% lower than the national average, and their poverty rate is almost 15% higher than the national average. From what I've seen, they just haven't rebounded as well as other places in Florida after the pandemic. Granted, the pandemic's not entirely gone, but we're on the downside of it. At least we hope, right? Yeah, so in 2023, if you're going to be moving to Florida, there's better places to choose than Jacksonville. Number 7, Riverside, California. Riverside is like in the...
I've actually checked out Riverside
California has several armpits
because of, I'm mapping towers out.
Southeast of downtown Los
Old
Angeles.
ancient towers.
It's where Los Angeles sends all its smog. It's hot, it's miserable, it has a lot of potential, it's just not living up to it. The prices, though, when it comes to housing and cost of living, they act like they're living up to their potential, and they're really not. The cost of living in Riverside is about 25% higher than the national average, and housing is about 50% higher than the national average. Now, for California, that doesn't really sound like it's a bad thing. Riverside is almost. Their schools get rated a big F, as does their crime. Their crime is not good. Their violent crime is about 20% higher than the national average, and their property crime is about 55% higher. That kind of goes with people not having really good jobs and a high cost of living. They start stealing your junk. Now, I grew up in Southern California near the beach, and I'm a little bit of a snob when it comes to this part of California. It kind of sucks. And I see it just going downhill all of 2023 and maybe 2024. Number 6, South Bend, Indiana. You ever hear of South Bend?
My relatives live near there.
If you live in northern Indiana, I'm sure you have. It's where Notre Dame is. It also has the St. Joseph River flowing right through town. It is sandwiched between Gary, Indiana, Toledo, Ohio, Detroit, Michigan, and Chicago. It's like kind of in the middle there. A little closer to Gary and Chicago. So it only makes sense this place is going to blow. It wasn't always that way. This was a major industrial manufacturing area back in the early 20th century, even to the mid 20th century. Because the St. Joseph River, Studebaker, the old car manufacturer, they set up shop there. It still has some remaining large corporations that are based in the area, including Crow, Honeywell, and AM General. You know what else they got? A lot of violent crime, and for some reason these people like to use knives. They have a strange amount of knife attacks in this city. The violent crime rate in South Bend, Indiana is actually 346% above the national average. So it is one of the most unsafe metro areas in the United States.
Jeez.
Nobody ever really hears about it. Their crime rate continues to grow, poverty continues to get worse, and according to area vibes, their schools get a giant F. The good thing is, they got a lot of things to do, and their cost of living is pretty low. Housing, not so much. I mean, you can find a lot of cheap houses here. It's just, do you really want these houses? Look at this purple gem they got for sale in South Bend right now. It's going for $125,000. It looks like Barbie's substance abuse house. Is that cool, or is that more of a law? Anyway, as long as you're selling houses like this and you have a crime rate that high, this place is going to continue to go downhill. Number 5, Hartford, Connecticut. If
Hartford.
you don't know much about the East Coast and New England in general, you're probably, just by reputation, going to think that Hartford, Connecticut is a nice place. I mean, it's in New England. New England is one of the safest regions in the nation. They have 3 of the absolute safest states we have: Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. They're 1, 2, and 3 every single year. Connecticut also has some of the richest neighborhoods and towns in the country. Some of the wealthiest people we have living in the United States are in Connecticut. Not many of them live in Hartford, Connecticut. Hartford, Connecticut is kind of a nightmare. The good news, it's one of the least expensive places to live in New England as far as cities go. The downside is you're taking your life into your own hands. Their violent crime rate is 156% above the national average, and that's up from 120% above the national average in 2019. 2017, it was only 65% above the national average. It's going in the wrong direction. The unemployment is always high. Right now it sits about 130% above the national average. That fluctuates. Next month it could be 110. 3 months from now it could be 90%, but you get the idea. Their poverty rate is also 111% above the national average. This is a major city, at least by New England standards. The town itself only has about 121,000 residents, but the metro area has a little over 1.2 million. I couldn't find any of their major stats that have gotten better over the last 5 years. There's no sign of the suckage to stop anytime soon. Number 4, Memphis, Tennessee. Easily one of the worst cities we have going on right now in the United States. It is catching up with
The only reason
at some point it's going to pass East St. Louis as one of the worst cities in the United States.
the only reason this city even is good is because of St. Jude.
37% above the national average. Their violent crime rate is 506% above the national average. There are Mad Max movies with less violence than this city, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. It's just going to continue to go downhill for some time.
Wait, what was that? Did I see a
Above the
bell?
national average. There are
Hey, they got the bell tower. I know it may not be special, but they got a bell tower. There's one. Hard to see it. They got the horns on it. The ancient towers I was really just talking about, that's the ones I'm mapping out right there. Looks like they got a central station. I'm gonna go mark those down on my map when I get to Tennessee.
with less violence than this city. And it's not going to get any better anytime soon. It's just going to continue to go downhill for some time until they get a handle on their crime. That's the biggest problem here. Well, that and their income per capita, household income, unemployment rate, their schools. The only thing that gets high marks in Memphis is their cost of living. It's pretty cheap to live here. As we all know, cost of living is a good indicator on how popular the city is. It's cheap, nobody wants to live there. If it's expensive, everyone wants to live there. Number 3, Little Rock, Arkansas. In 1994, there was a documentary, which I thought was a mockumentary, that came out called Bangin' in a Little Rock. And it showed how gang members were in Little Rock, and the crime, and the violence, and the drugs, and all that good stuff. It hasn't got much better. Their crime rate is 186% higher than the national average. Violent crime rate is 377% above the national average. They got serious poverty issues, infrastructure issues. But they do have one really cool thing. Their schools are rated very well, oddly enough. They graded a B-, and their cost of living's not terrible. But when you got stats like they do, you'd expect the cost of living to be a little bit better than it is. It's 4% lower than the national average. But when you're living in that kind of crime and the housing sucks and the poverty's everywhere, you expect the cost of living to be, there's a trade-off, you know? You want it to be lower. You're just not getting it here. And nothing's going to change here in 2023, I promise you. Number 2, Jackson, Mississippi. So Jackson...
Man, Jackson is just the butt of all jokes.
Just recently, they had some severe flooding, people going without power and water. The flooding kind of went down a week ago, and as of yesterday, the water was restored, but it was still undrinkable. There are only 3 types of people living in Jackson, Mississippi. People that were transferred there from their work, they had family there, or they're on parole and they can't leave. Jackson, Mississippi is often brought up as the worst capital city in the United States. In case you didn't know, Jackson is the capital of the Magnolia State. Alright, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. There's a link down below. We would love it if you went over there and subscribe. Also subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Alright, on to number 4. And number 1, Stockton, California. Not many people
I've also observed the station in Stockton. Stockton has a bell tower.
X-Stars, I should say. I don't think I'm fighting for it. Stockton is east of San Francisco and Oakland, but north of Modesto. This whole part of the Central Valley of California is where hopes and dreams go to die. It is surrounded by farmland, and if those farms weren't there, they'd be surrounded by desert. Stockton gets 4 grades for their schools, their unemployment's pretty high, their crime
Probably
rate's pretty high.
expensive.
Crime rate's 82% above the national average, and violent crime rate is 229% above the national average. This whole part of California is just kind of another part that's failing. Is it failing as bad as, let's say, San Francisco? You know, I don't think so, but I think San Francisco's hit rock rock bottom, so they're not going to be getting worse in the coming years. They can only get better. Stockton, on the other hand, has a way to go till they get to the bottom, and I think the bottom will come in 23, 24, 2025. That's why they're number 1 on this list. Alright, that's today's list. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.
Alright, Limo, give me a socket wrench, pliers, and a phone opener.
Top 10 cities that suck and no one wants to live in. Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Peoria, Rockford.
When you buy appliances from Home, everything just compare brands in store or online. See them in your space and schedule free delivery. So when it's installed, you'll just click. One day delivery for all select appliances in the Home Depot. It's October 19th.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to World According to Briggs, and a look at cities nobody wants to move to. It's no secret that major cities are starting to lose their appeal. The lure of big city life has dropped significantly over the last decade or so. People are moving to small towns, suburbs, and even smaller cities. I ran a survey and asked people to pick 3 of the 50 largest cities in the U.S. that they would never move to. I also ran a few polls on the community tab on this channel, and I kind of showed you guys the top 20 from the survey, and then you guys pick which ones you would never move to. I'm starting to learn whatever I get from the Google surveys is pretty similar to what you guys pick. A couple heads up on this video though. A few cities I thought for sure would have made this list didn't make the top 10. Places like Philly, Baltimore, Detroit, Cleveland. I'll give you those stats briefly after number 2 on this list. The second thing I want to tell you is about the comment section. If you read enough comments on YouTube, you know that political zealots need to leave comments, and they always bring it back to politics. They will point out that most of the cities on this list are run by Democrats. And here's the thing, 90% of all medium or large cities in the U.S. are Democrat-controlled. So, of course, most will be Democrat-controlled. Not saying anything bad about either party. In my point of view, they're both in bad shape. Alright, let's see where...
Yay, someone that thinks like me.
Phoenix. This one surprised me. Phoenix is a decent
Phoenix.
city. Once you get past heat, they got a little bit of a homeless problem, but nothing compared to other major cities in the U.S. Their crime isn't as bad as other major cities either. In my opinion, I think it's losing its appeal because it's getting too crowded. It's kind of like Dallas and like Los Angeles was, San Francisco was, Portland was at some point, where they got really popular, too many people moved in, and then they became unpopular because too many people lived there. I think Phoenix is starting to feel that right now. 28% of the respondents said they would never move to Phoenix. Number 9, Las Vegas, Nevada. Staying in the desert, we end up in Las Vegas. Vegas was another one that was extremely popular around 2000 on to about, I'd say 2015, when it started to slow down. This was a hot spot for a lot of Californians for a lot of years, and also young people from Utah. In the late 90s, I have a lot of friends that worked construction in the Los Angeles area, and they all moved to Sin City and started working there. But Las Vegas is not for everyone. It's got some crime issues, it's got some heat issues.
Poverty.
Some people, like myself, just don't like living in the desert. 31% of the respondents said they would never move to Las Vegas.
There's a lot of homeless people in
Number
Las
8,
Vegas.
Memphis, Tennessee. It's really hard to find many bad things about Tennessee until you start talking about Memphis. A few years back, I got an email from someone that works for the city of Memphis. I'd done a negative video about Memphis. They sent me this list of good things going on in Memphis. Now, you got crime, you got poverty, you got rundown areas of town, but this person sends me a list of how many new shaded bus stops they have. They gave me a list of little festivals they had going on, and then they pointed out that this place can't be that bad. They got Graceland and Bass Pro Pyramid. As great as those things sound, they're not enough to win over everyone. 35% of the respondents said they would never move to Memphis. Number 7, St. Louis, Missouri. Or Missouri. Depends on where you come from in the state. I really like Missouri, especially the area around the Lake of the Ozarks, which is in the southern section of Missouri. I'll go there anytime, especially if I want to eat at Big Dick's halfway in. I'm really hoping that temporarily closed thing is just for the season, because that place is on my bucket list. So that's some of the good about Missouri. What's not too good is St. Louis. St. Louis has some nice things. They got nice neighborhoods. They got a lot of really crappy
The Sea Museum.
neighborhoods too, and I think that makes a lot of people not want to move there. 37% of the respondents respondents said they would never move to St. Louis. Number 6, Portland, Oregon. How did they get on the list? How does a place that's called the City of Roses get on a list like this? Maybe it has something to do with their other nickname, which is Stumptown. Portland, Oregon is a great city. They've got amazing nature, strip clubs, and more beer than any city should have. We also have rain, homeless, civil unrest, and a donut shop that people will stand in line for an hour to get a donut that has Captain Crunch on it. I just talked about this on our last video, which was top 10 states nobody wants to move to. Oregon was one of them, and I mentioned how I love Oregon and I love Portland. It's just more and more every single year, I'm becoming part of the minority of people that feel that way. Portland is a great city with a lot to offer. I just think in a lot of ways right now you should probably avoid it unless you have to come here. I always hope they'll return to their old glory, but they have some work to do. Now, if you watch certain news channels, you probably think that Portland was burned to the ground a couple summers ago during the riots. It really wasn't that big of a deal. It was bad. It wasn't that big of a deal, like I said. And when I say big deal, it was a major event, but it was condensed into like a 4 to 5 block area. But 38% of the respondents said they would never move to Portland, Oregon. Number 5, New York City. New York City used to be a punching bag for a list like this. I mean, it was way too crowded, way too expensive. There was a lot of problems going on in New York City, and now people, in a way, have kind of forgotten about it a little bit when it comes to things like this. Things are getting better in New York City. People are still leaving there, but it's getting better. And I think that's why they slid down to number 5 on a list like this. 38% of the respondents said they would never move to New York City. The reality is about 75% of us can't afford to live in New York City.
Yeah. It was.
MailChimp's customer journey begins the guess repetitive automations by sending the right message at the right time, helping generate up to 4 times more orders. Guess less and sell more with Invoice MailChimp.
Yeah, what's it called? I can't remember what I was gonna say, I'm sorry. Micmacs? The hell's that?
Number 4, San Francisco, California.
You know it costs $1.4 million on average to buy a place here?
Yeah, I would have picked it number 2 because they've got a lot of serious issues. It's overpriced. I mean, housing and cost of living. They have a homeless crisis that is so scary it keeps Freddy Krueger up at night. But they still got more people moving in than moving out. Why, you ask? They got a lot of high-paying jobs. Sure, it's so expensive you could be making $90,000 a year and still need to get a 2-bedroom apartment with 3 roommates just to get by. And depending on where you live in San Francisco, you're gonna have to hose down your porch every single week or twice a week. 40% of the respondents said they would never move to San Francisco, California. Number 3, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Are you as shocked as I am? I never would have picked
Because of the amount of tornadoes that get targeted here, this is why I never go.
boring, but it's not a terrible place to live. Now, I just said it's a little boring, and I promise you there'll be comments in the comment section talking about how I've never experienced a really good monster truck show or something like that. And if that's what you're going to comment, stop typing. I've never enjoyed a monster truck show. 41% of the respondents said they would never move to Oklahoma City. Number 2, Chicago, Illinois.
Whoa, big surprise.
City list would be complete without the appearance by Chicago, everyone's favorite dumping ground for bad stats. Like I've said before, Chicago has a lot of really nice neighborhoods. It's just too bad that a few neighborhoods are really bringing down the stats for the entire city. Well, that was until the last year or so. It used to be like, I'd say 5 or 6 neighborhoods you could probably avoid at all costs. Now that's getting closer to 7 or 8. It's just got a little bit worse. Now, another strange thing, some of the nicer neighborhoods and suburbs on the north side of Chicago, they're actually getting even better, while the south side's getting even worse. I don't know, I still love Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities to visit. The pizza, the people, just the city in general, it's a great city. It's too bad nobody wants to move there. 45% of all respondents said they would never move to Chicago. Alright, before we get to number 1, don't forget we have another channel called On This Day. There's a link down below. Now here's the cities that most people probably think should have made the list, but didn't. 22% of the respondents said Philadelphia is not a city for them. Cleveland was also 22%. Baltimore was 24%. And Detroit almost made the list. They were number 11 at 27% said they would never move there. This kind of shows you that it's not just crime and poverty that make people not want to move to a city. Sometimes it's situations like Oklahoma, where it's just boring to most people, or the fact that it's in the state of Oklahoma. And Phoenix, that's another one. I think the main reason people don't want to move to Phoenix is the heat, because it's not a bad place to live. Strange, I know. Alright, on to number 1. And number 1, Los Angeles, California.
Traffic.
I'm a little shocked at this one. California's been dodging some stat bullets in recent years. I mean, they always showed up, but they were never at number 1 when it comes to bad stats. Their crime is bad, but there's worse cities in the United States when it comes to crime stats. Same thing with cost of living and housing. There are much more expensive cities than Los Angeles. But I think when you take everything into consideration, cost of living, cost of housing, air quality, homeless situation, traffic, and throw it all into that big blender in people's brains, Los Angeles rises to the top of places you don't want to move to. 47% of the respondents said they would never move to Los Angeles, California. Alright, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and please be nice to each other.
I get as many of these batteries as I can. So I'm gonna start collecting them. I'm gonna go make my lunch. I'll be right back.